Oh, a Challenger enters. What do we have here? It looks like a Corolla FX16.
Yeah, what's that, a GD3?
Yeah, a Honda Fit.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah.
A time or two.
Yeah.
You wanna run them?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, you know, get your tune ready and stuff.
Sport mode.
Yeah.
Track mode.
Yeah.
Sport mode.
It's your funeral. Here we go.
VTEC. Engage.
Oh yeah, I got him. Oh, I got him so good.
Pull him ahead of.
Sweet Odin's Raven, the torque steer. Here we go. 1.6 liters of fury.
Yeah, go Fit, go!
Okay, I promise you it's not quite that bad, so stick around until the end of the episode where we will run them for real. But for now, we've come down to German Auto Service in North Kansas City, where Ryan has the Fit on the lift. He's putting in a new cam, motor mounts, and many other goodies. Let's speak to him and see what's actually going on, because I really don't know. All right, so there he is. What's going on?
I just put the oil pan back on. Well, why did I have it off? Doing a timing chain on this. Why am I doing a timing chain? Because high performance camshaft, the bump stick.
What's the numbers on the camshaft? Because I don't know anything about the numbers.
I just happen to have the cam card here. And
now it's on the floor.
The receipt, maybe?
That you ripped in half.
So it's a 270 intake, 260 exhaust.
You've bought cams from this individual before.
Yes,
right?
This is from American Custom Cam, and he made the cam that I currently have in the MGB. It's in the MGB now. Originally was in the 8.6.
Right.
But that was a 286 cam, so that was a higher duration, higher lift cam than this. This I wanted to kind of see if I could get away with it sounding stock. Mm-hmm. The reason being, it's an automatic. It won't take much valve overlap. If you have too much valve overlap, it just will die at stoplights. And grinding on the stock cam, there's just not much lobes on there to grind away to make more lift. So here's our stock camshaft here. You'll see these camshafts are made a little bit differently. See, we have two lobes here, and then you'll look here, and we kind of have just one lobe there. How this VTEC works is that only one of these lobes actually works all the time. Okay. Above 3,600 RPM, this other one here will work, which equals the same amount as this. So below 3,800, above 3,800. To grind a cam is you grind away at what you call the base circle. This is the base circle. You can see on the other side of the lobes, like if we take a lobe like this one right here, you can see there's that much metal before you actually hit like the stem of the camshaft. So you can grind away all that area there and reshape the lobes to where you can actually get more lift and more duration. What that means in like actual more lift, you can only grind away probably, there's probably 2 or 3 millimeters there. But that's all we need. Yeah. With the amount of compression this car has, which is 10.5 to 1, we can't go with too big of a cam. Otherwise, it'll just make the motor less efficient. So we're just trying to increase efficiency here. And this should do the trick. Bump stick.
Bump stick. In order to get that cam replaced, though, you had to pull off the oil pan, which is really half the motor, right?
Yes.
Because these aren't like a separate pan and a, yeah.
Thankfully, on these cars, you can get right at everything. I used electric ratchet for everything on this motor. Mm-hmm. The only hard part is taking this motor mount on this passenger side, and you got to have something to hold up the motor. So I have a cross engine brace on here. But a lot of times I'll just use a jack stand underneath here and a board. Yeah. Want to use a board so you're not directly against your aluminum pan, but most of the time I use a jack stand. In fact, that's how I started out till I figured out that I had to remove the oil pan, which I was supporting the motor with.
So you're also putting on an EGR block off, EGR Delete. The EGR takes the unburnt exhaust gases and puts it back into the intake so that it can burn stuff better, right?
So it just literally takes exhaust and pumps it into the intake to make it warm up quicker. They do it in certain throttle positions for emissions as well, because they're all about heat. The hotter the burn is, the more efficient the burn is. It doesn't mean you make the most horsepower.
Right.
As in, the closer an engine is to melting down, the better it runs.
Yeah.
If you've ever blown up an engine, you'll find that. But the hotter it is, it actually the more efficient it is. And through these Honda motors, they have several different ways to preheat the air that's coming into the motor. They have a throttle body with coolant running through it. They have an intake manifold with coolant running through it.
Yeah.
They have an EGR pumping exhaust gas into the intake to make it warmer.
They really want that motor to be hot.
And these things do warm up incredibly
They really
fast.
do. I mean, it's been below 0 for the past week, and mine's the little blue light. There's no coolant gauge, but the little blue light goes off in still a minute. You know, like it's pretty quick.
And that's another thing. I'm going to get rid of some of the coolant lines going through the throttle body, through the intake. You know, if it was, I'm going to leave it together as a one piece. So for winter time, that stuff's needed. Throttle body icing can occur, especially with the temperatures we dealt with over the last week. That is a possibility. And in colder climates, 100% you need to leave that stuff. But we're going into summertime, I'm only going to be running this really at events. I want as cold air as possible.
And you can warm it up. You know, to warm up a car.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So, yeah, it'll get warm, you know, before you go and drive it.
So I'm just not preheating the air that I'm doing so much work to keep cool. What that's going to equal out on the tune, I don't know.
Yeah. And that's a big deal here, too, is that you have to be able to tune the car to take this off? Or could you just remove this without being able to tune it? Like
you can, but yeah, for sure you'll have a check engine light, and it may not run properly.
Yeah, right.
The EGR does weird stuff to timing. So that's what, the more efficient an engine is, the less timing it needs. So I actually pulled timing to prepare for all this install. Most people, you know, up the timing. No, sometimes you need to pull timing to make more power. And this is going to be one of those instances of removing the EGR, adding a camshaft with that's more efficient. I want to start off by pulling timing, and I'll probably have to end up pulling more timing because I've seen over 40 degrees on this motor, and that's probably, for a super efficient motor, you only need about 36. So, and that's just what the motor wanted. I give the motor what it wants, and it eats. So here is the EGR on these Honda Fits. They get time, mileage, that sort of thing. It will plug up the intake with this black soot. Now, I've cleaned that black soot out one time before in this car.
It just fills right back up.
But I don't want to deal with it no more.
Yeah.
So our good friends at Honda make a block-off plate, and all that's required to install it is you unbolt the two 12-millimeter nuts off the front of here. This guy slides right off. You have one wiring connector. You have one cooling hose connector. There is coolant that flows through here. And the block-off plate is just basically this plate right here. Now, these studs that come through here go into the block, and then you have a nut on there. Super long, so you got to pull these, which you can use a double nut method, or you can use a stud extractor.
Right.
And then it comes with some nice little bolts, and you just bolt it on there.
Simple bolts to put a plate on.
This vehicle is for only racing use.
Oh, okay, of course, yes.
This vehicle will never be driven
No.
on a road.
No, never.
It goes directly onto the trailer and then trailered to the event.
Every time, yeah.
Yes. If someone was actually paying attention to what they do, and probably 99% of the shops don't, then yeah. If they knew that an L15A1 that was only made 2 years here in America had an EGR right there.
Yeah, right.
And there's some guys that like to remove them.
Yeah, right. Then they might be all over you. But otherwise, they're probably not going to notice it.
And besides plugging up the intake, and if that really is not a super big deal because it kind of just stays over to the side. It doesn't really do too much detrimental. The main thing is that thing weighs 3 pounds.
Yeah, you got to get rid of that 3 pounds. Yeah.
And it's directly ahead of the front axle where we don't want it.
Yeah.
So anytime we can remove 3 pounds from in front of the front axle, we're going to do it every time.
Well, what's next?
So I'm just bolting stuff back together here. We're working on making a motor mount out of some extra pieces we had laying around. So we're going to get that put together. Then I'll have the motor hanging, putting on the lower pulleys and some of the other bolts. I got to put on the water pump pulley, AC compressor, a few more bolts down here, a few more covers. Then we'll go up top. All the cleaning work is what takes the most amount of time.
And the motor mount, the passenger motor mount over there, is that the fluid-filled one or the normally or?
It will have fluid in there.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, it's so you can't. This is a car's an automatic.
Yeah.
Make fun of me all you want. I'll see you at a race and we'll talk about it.
Done. So it's done well so far.
I ordered a motor mount set, as in it fits this, it fits automatic, it fits manual. Well, come to find out, there's two different front engine mounts that are different on this car between the manual transmission and the automatic transmission. And the main difference is about $400. You can get some upgraded ones, and they're 75 durometer poly, and I don't like to run poly mounts in anything.
Right.
I'm just persnickety about that, and I got an automatic transmission. I actually want to make the shifts pretty soft. When you change gears hard in rallycross, you lose a half second of traction in transition. With the soft motor mounts and the soft torque converter, I never lose traction.
Yeah.
It's constantly eating the whole time.
Yeah.
That's what makes this car fast. Yeah. So we want to keep that motor mount soft. So I want to keep a stockish rubber one. And I don't care if I have to replace them every year. Yeah. That's fine. This one over here is broken. We're trying. I got these progressive bump stops from Energy Suspension to use on something.
Oh, yeah.
And it helps to like measure things when you order stuff. Otherwise, you get like big truck stuff that you can't use on anything.
Yep. No. When you order it on Amazon, you have no idea how big it is. When the picture makes it look, one way, and yeah, those are pretty beefy.
That's as big as my hand. But instead, we're cutting one apart and using it to remake the motor mount. So we'll have some poly in there, but it'll be squishable poly like that.
That is pretty squishable.
And here we have the completed design.
Hi, thank you, Justin. Yes, sorry, just met him. So that's Justin, and that was Calvin, all right, helping out today.
I think this will work good.
Yeah, it looks right. It's got the right look to it.
So this is the bracket that goes to the motor. What he did here was we had this this mount here, so you can see it's broken there. It's coming out of the middle there.
Yep.
And so he made a hole in there and trimmed this guy down so that the what is the word I'm looking for? The chamfer? Chamfer?
I don't know. It fits.
It fits.
That's the word.
Now that I've taken it off here.
It only goes one way and he ruined it.
There we go. Just like that.
So this is still the OEM mount with fluid inside of it, right?
Yep.
And then, but just putting some poly on top to try to stiffen things up a little bit.
Yeah, so the main thing is how it works out in the car is this mount's not tall enough.
Yeah, okay.
And it sits kind of in the wrong place. You can see it's kind of bent to the side there.
Uh-huh.
So where it wants to line up is wrong as well. So it's just all sorts of wrong for the car, but it'll work for now. We'll put it together like that.
Yep.
And send it.
All right, well, back to work.
Named Hot plus timing. And here we go.
Maybe we'll get some screenshots or something and insert some, because there's numbers and graphs.
Yep.
And Windows noises and all sorts of things going on.
All right, so that's uploaded. Here. So key to off, start. Let me go to live. Okay, we can auto tune. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna, I have auto tuned this thing on lots of trips. It's fine. Ian's going to provide some full throttle for us, and I'm only going to auto-tune at full throttle.
Because I can do this part. I can't do that part that he's doing. All right, we're going to go. Tell me when you want me to
nail it.
Okay.
And just tell me when you let off.
Say again. Oh my God. Sounds nasty at 7,500.
You just got to shift a little early. There you go, right there. There you go.
And lift.
Nice.
It's very fun to keep your foot down and shift.
Yes.
Yeah. It's unnerving a little bit, but it's fun.
So the funny thing is, like, obviously, driving in the sports mode, shifting it yourself.
Yeah.
What really surprised me is just, like, even in D, it's just fantastic.
Complete stop. And go. Catch it between 6.5 and 7. Seems like that's where he wants to shift. I hope that helped.
Oh, yeah.
I'm done for the night because I have to cook dinner.
Okay.
A few moments later.
I'm still going to give you the jump because your launch isn't great, right?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. It was better. It was better. It's still not perfect. Still got him.
That was exhilarating.
You know, since I mean, I won.
You did.
I won, yeah, and that was not the expected outcome after the cam and all that stuff. But it's not a fair fight, I don't think. I mean, this thing can't have a ton of horsepower left in it, but it is warmed over.
Yes.
You know, and nice light flywheel and a heavy clutch and a diff and you know, mostly driveline stuff. Nothing really to the engine, but we did timing.
Yes.
It runs on 91. But yeah, it does go pretty good. So, you know, in all honesty, this isn't the first time that we drag raced it. We did it once before and we totally botched the filming. We'll put in some of that footage here. But we've done it twice now. The first time we did it gave you a little bit more data. You tuned a little more and you thought, maybe you had a chance.
I thought I did. Went through and there were some places that the timing was too much, so I pulled it back. There was places the timing wasn't enough and I added more there. And drivability wise, you just put this thing in drive. It's a lot of fun versus what it used to be.
Yeah.
But it is still no drag race car.
Well, I mean, it was never really intended to be a drag race car. You're going to get more torque out of what you did, I feel like, than power.
Correct.
Which is going to be great at autocross and rallycross, but rallycross most specifically is what it's for, because it's going to want to dig. It already dug pretty well. The transmission is geared really tall, really tall. Your second is super tall, right?
Yes, and I'm completely stock exhaust. I mean, like, it's like 1.25 inches or something ridiculous. Yeah. I'm basically breathing through Briggs and Stratton size.
You're breathing it all in and none of it out.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
And, you know, I think the cat's going out in a few things.
Yeah.
Hopefully long tube header will be in the works pretty soon here, and I think I'll finally have it in the bag.
This is just all another reason for the viewer to come back again later, because you're going to keep improving this thing, and we'll see. I mean, we have a baseline now,
yes,
right? Can it beat this?
Right.
Once it can beat this, then we'll pick something else that has to beat. You know, you stick around, there's going to be more fit content. This thing's going to go faster and faster and faster as time goes on, and who knows where it might end up. There's just a normal L15A whatever, A3A, whatever it is. It's an old motor in an older car
with
that
222,000 miles.
Yeah, and this is younger.
Yes.
It's only got 160,000 miles on it, so that explains it right there, right? But yeah, the car's going to get quicker, and you can figure out how to do it to your car as well. Even if you have an automatic, you can still go out and have fun.
That's right.
in a Fit, because if they were going to do something like now, like if I was or you was going to tell them to go do something, what would that something be that we would tell them to go do? Let's see if he gets it.
Like, subscribe, and if we had merch, you should buy it.
We do have merch.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, there's that. And then also you go out and you find your own Apex.
Yes, that
And
too.
why? Because it's...
life's better in a Fit.
Yeah, that's it. It's better late than never. Bye-bye.